Off sand as yesterday, but an awful lot to catch people out, as you'll see.
C'est la 11e étape du Dakar.
Well, this is the 11th stage of the Dakar. Hello everyone, again we're in a wonderful location, a stage full of variation, Matthew, but with different kinds of difficulties. Yes, we're now in the desert, so after 4 days in the sand, it's now over. There's now a lot of vegetation, incredible landscapes. We might think we're in a bit of a movie set here. The drivers are going to enjoy that, but let's not forget that it's still a very technical day today, and a lot of things can happen. Well, we're back as well at high altitude. It's something we're getting used to a little bit. Stage separated into two parts, says Matthew. The first one, we climbed to 3,200 metres, and once again, the machinery will have some difficulties. And while Adelaide plies her trade through this landscape, let me just tell you, it has been a bit brutal, and most of the field, except for the lead bikes, are actually still out on course. So we're going to try and pick up the interviews we possibly can at the finish line today. It's incredible, she says, to see the landscape. It's an impressive canyon here. It's wonderful, sinuous, slippery, a real pleasure, she says. The competitors, of course, coming through here an awful lot quicker, if they're lucky enough. And some sad news, I've got to say today. Eduardo Amor, he's okay, Argentinian competitor in car number 410, had an accident on the neutralised section today. In fact, it was on the liaison, I beg your pardon, and unfortunately the driver of the car that he was involved with has passed away. So you do have to take care out there. It's not news that brings any kind of comfort, I know, to those of you worrying about competitors on course. This was off course on the liaison, but nonetheless some very sad news today. So what about those riders out there? Well, it was always a simple mission for both Mark Comer and Cyril Desprez out there today. The idea was for Mark to try and keep up and for Cyril to try and escape. In the end, it was Lopez Condado who decided to put some space between himself and everyone else. I think thinking about stage wins, maybe. They were the leading lights. In fact, Chalico was your man out in front today. So, yeah, busy old time for him. Duclos had a bit of a crash, unfortunately, damaged a wheel. Yeah, it was an early start. Once again, a bit chilly for the riders. They kind of have to wear the correct clothing. There's nothing they can sort of take off either. Luckily, the last thing they're thinking about really is body temperature out there. They do wear quite a bit of armour anyway. So they generally tend to look a bit bulkier than they are. They do wear light clothing, so they are genuinely cold in the morning. Yes, here is Chalico. He was leading early on, in fact looking very good in this terrain here. Nicely balanced and quick through some of the technical sections. He had a 1.5 minute lead, and then of course it's navigation, isn't it? As per usual, unfortunately for him, let him down. Well, let him down, but not entirely. Finished third on the day. Cyril Desprez, well, he caught and then passed Mark Comer out there. And as a result, Comer finished 2 minutes and 10 seconds behind him. But with the cushion he's got overall, and with one competitive stage to go, it looks like the man who wears number 1, not number 2, will be our winner. And there he is, Mark Comer. There's Cyril Desprez from behind, I beg your pardon. Mark, well, will he be the first #1 plate to win since 2002? Cyril Desprez is, of course, the defending champion, but Mark Comer winning the Raid Championship, which goes on throughout the year. A lot of Rally Raid fans don't even realise that it's not just about the Dakar. There's an awful lot of other things that we have as well on Eurosport, Silkway Rally and the like. So do try and tune in and watch the schedules for those as they pop up during the year. Mark Comer, yes, on his last engine, don't forget, but it's the same deal for Cyril Desprez. So they weren't going completely nuts today because you get a 40-minute penalty if you exceed 3 engines for the rally. And they've got a big day coming up again tomorrow, don't forget. Hard break over the last couple of days for Helder Rodrigue. Yes, errors and running out of fuel, that wasn't good. And then getting his navigation out of sorts. Yes, unfortunately for him, a couple of potential stage victories eluded him, so he was nursing it a little bit today and finished in 4th place. Quinn Cody 5th today. Yes, he's a bit of a stalwart of the Bauhaus, but he has been outstanding, and when you know that he's a rookie here, best rookie indeed. And in fact, Quinn Cody finishing in 6th place behind Alan Duclos. I beg your pardon. But Cody, top tenor at the moment, waiting for other riders to come in. And of course, the cars still to arrive. Looks like an emu. Road road, I think they call it in this part of the world. Well, where is the road? Look at this, absolutely beautiful sculptural landscape. A lot of the course had to be amended today due to the rain that's come since they wrote the road book, so they chopped it by 100 kilometres, had a neutral section within it, so 2 sections on the day, but beautiful nonetheless. Looks like a spaghetti western backdrop. Johnny Villadoms having a good day today, finishing in 10th place. Villadoms hovering around that top spot at the moment. He and Pedro Garcia kind of shadowing each other throughout this rally. But really it was a day to kind of mark time, I suppose you might say, and Mark Comer is a man who's doing exactly that, and it looks like he's going to get victory. It will, of course, be tomorrow where it is the big decider, because it's then or never, really. Stage 12, stage 13, of course, is that long link and then a short run from Cordoba to Buenos Aires, and all the classes are just starting to spread out a little bit. The bike's getting tighter though, isn't it, for some of the minor places. We'll see how they go. And Duclos crashed on a damaged wheel yesterday. And John de Azevedo finished in 8th place today, which is a good result for him. So a little bit sketchy as we wait for them to come in today. It's been such a long day, and it's been that's Marek Dabrowski, incidentally. It's been a difficult and long day today, and I dare not tell you what's happened to Carlos Sainz, but I'm going to in just a moment. Let's check out the bikes first. Cyril Desprez then winning the day ahead of Mark Comer. 2 minutes and 11 was the gap. Caught up with Comer, went by him, and kind of stayed just in front by around about 10-11 seconds. And as a result, Comer's lead trimmed by that margin overall. But Mark Comer looks like, save for any troubles tomorrow, that he's going to get crowned champion. 15 minutes, 59 the gap between them, all but 16 minutes, isn't it? Chaleco Lopez looks solidly as well in 3rd place, with Helder Rodrigue there, and then they start to skirmish a little bit. Oliver Alceta still looking for that top 5 spot. He's got to find basically 15 minutes tomorrow. Here is Chaleco. Could have won today. Well, good stage, he says. It was when I left at the beginning, I was quite calm. I wanted to secure 3rd place in the rankings, and when I came to the refueling point, they at that refueling point they said I was doing well, and then suddenly I misread my road book, and navigation let me down. It was on the revised section, incidentally, so he says I'm looking forward to Buenos Aires this year, and at least I am safe. and I haven't had any problems. It's very hot. I'm doing the sponsor thing as well. So, favourite stage on this year's rally? There's an awful lot of road to go through, to be honest. My bike is very heavy in the canyons, so I've been suffering quite a bit. He says it's hard, and the temperatures as well and changes are difficult to cope with. Everyone has to hydrate themselves here because here in Argentina the heat is starting to affect my body, he says. So describing his as being one of the heavier bikes out there. Well, we've got Cyril Després, who did a good job today winning the stage, but is it all over?
Cyril Després, vous êtes parti le couteau entre les dents ce matin, 2 minutes 11 secondes. C'est ce que vous avez récupéré.
Good effort today. A couple of minutes you found today.
Pas mal, une belle spéciale.
What else can you say about today? Well, it was beautiful, especially said. I really liked it. Unfortunately, I was a little bit behind Mark on a number for a while. I went by as soon as I could. When you say it's a beautiful special, what do you mean by that? It says. I mean, I took a lot of pleasure in doing it, to be honest. It was quite even in terms of difficulty, but the landscape was absolutely spectacular today. It was really beautiful. It's almost like a total other universe compared to Chile. I really enjoyed it, he says. A lot of rocky canyons and boulders and that kind of stuff to deal with. So the gap between you and your direct rivals, it's big. What are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to get some rest, he says. Keep on going the way I have been. Do my best. What else can I do? Try to push tomorrow, but the rhythm's very high already. I'm very close to maximum, he means. But to succeed, you have to try, and I'm going to try, he says. And I think we might have a chat with Quinn Cody as well, which you picked up a little bit earlier. Here he comes.
Quinn Cody next to me. For me, the surprise of this year's Dakar. Do you share my opinion on that one?
I don't know if I'm too surprised. It's just been kind of a slow learning curve for me. I'm just been slowly building my speed over the last 10 days and trying to get comfortable with the bike and with all the navigation.
You're a Dakar rookie, but one of your good friends is Chris Blaze, a former podium finisher here on the Dakar. Can you tell us a little bit about your preparation for this race?
Most of my preparation was done in the last 2 weeks before I left. I didn't have a whole lot of time, and so I talked to Chris and I got all the information I could from him and Johnny Campbell and everybody. Did like 3 days of roadbook navigation training and got on the plane and came over here.
Good to have you here, and we really hope to see you again in 2012. Thanks for coming to us.
All right.
And I'm sure we're going to see an awful lot more of him. And I don't think next year he'll be 300 to 1 with the bookies ahead of the Dakar. I know some people trying to get some money on. But yeah, it's going to be a solid finish for him, that's for sure. And now he's learnt an awful lot about it. Anyway, we'll be back live after this with some news on the cars, eh?
It's summertime down under, and they're getting ready to face the heat of the first Grand Slam of the year. As Eurosport and Eurosport 2 link up to bring you round-the-clock coverage of the Australian Open, the absolute best in tennis on both channels, with every single shot from all the big matches. Get a better view than the umpire. Soak up the sunny atmosphere. And at the heart of it all, Mats Wilander and Annabelle Croft with all the stories in Game 7 Mats. Non-stop down under, the Australian Open from Sunday night at 1, live on Eurosport and Eurosport 2.
Get ready for the excitement with Kia, major sponsor of the Australian Open.
Fly to Melbourne with Qatar Airways.